we wanted to talk about what our thoughts and predictions are for the BlizzCon event, which is scheduled, I believe, it's Saturday.
5th
Okay, 4th and 5th. Yeah.
November in the US.
For those who aren't aware, because actually we didn't cover Blizzard this week because there wasn't any really Blizzard news. If there's Blizzard news, we always talk about it. And as such, we have to speculate on what the BlizzCon
obviously,
event may
because then we get
to
to talk about what they release the next one.
No, well, I'll save that for the end, but I think go with the safest stuff. First caveat, that is Diablo 3, apparently it's not going to be shown at any
It's
form.
not being,
they said that.
There's no new announcements, they said. It's probably being shown, but...
maybe. They have it on the poster.
They have it on the poster, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
They could go, surprise, but it's like the Necromancer. So it's like, I don't think Diablo is getting anything major. You might see something small.
Unless they really want to misdirect people for some reason, I take them at their word that there is no Diablo to be shown at this BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think with how many games that Blizzard has now, I don't think they need it.
I would very much more Diablo.
Not that I'd like not to see more of Diablo, but I don't think they need Diablo news to make it an event. Like, there's more than enough other games for them to make this a big event.
Yeah, especially because what they've got to probably announce, like, I'm imagining Overwatch will get a character or two. Jeff Kaplan, the director, said there wouldn't be. They wouldn't announce a character. So, it could mean they're not releasing a character. Could mean they're releasing characters, because he didn't say yes.
It's one of those things where it's like, we won't announce a character. We'll be announcing characters.
Surprise, fools.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that
I don't know,
past them.
I think there's a chance, like, regardless, expect probably a CGI trailer for a character of some kind.
Definitely.
Potentially more now from the Gamescom, was it?
Yeah, Gamescom, where they announced they had the Junkrat and Roadhog one. They had the May actual animated short.
Exactly. They're doing. They might not all be the big CGI one or the big budget one.
They probably get more than one.
Could be multiples. Yeah, I'm thinking probably a new map.
New map is probably guaranteed. I mean, Overwatch is having their big world tournament thing at the same time, and Overwatch makes so much money. It's a new game, new IP. There's gonna be so much Overwatch. There's no way there won't be.
And I'm guessing they'll probably push that big time, the esport mechanic of Overwatch. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they implement new UI interfaces and
already done that.
Like,
they already announced that in the Nintendo Direct. Kaplan Direct.
Yeah. Okay.
Where he's talking about all the new features.
Okay, but I expect a video, one of those Blizzard videos where it might be like, here's this feature being showed off, and he's talking about the community, and here's some Overwatch characters saying some funny lines or something.
Maybe, but he's already done his little speech on it. I will point out that I don't watch much esports, but I was watching the Overwatch one, and I found it enjoyable. Like, I've never watched any others because I don't play any of the games, but Overwatch I'd play. I was like, no, I know what they're doing. I know what's happening. It's actually kind of interesting.
And I think Blizzard games inherently just are enjoyable to watch because of I think the visual spectacle of things going on. It's like there's always... I think that Blizzard has an inherently good way of just making something simple, but also complicated at the same time. So it's easy to pick up. Like, it's not like... I think League and Dota can be very daunting for people, where often Blizzard games, as popular as those are, Blizzard games, I think, easier for just people to watch and just enjoy.
Yeah, and Heroes of Storm is very easy in comparison to those in terms of what you need to worry about.
In terms of Heroes of Storm, I expect that's the one where they'll have probably multiple characters announcements.
Yeah,
and if there's any
easy for them to do.
Diablo stuff, as if there's any Diablo stuff, it'll be in Heroes of the Storm.
There are already a lot of Diablo characters in Heroes of the Storm, and I mean a lot.
They're constantly adding characters to that game.
Yeah, they're really supporting that game, and obviously they will show more stuff. I imagine Hearthstone will get something.
Yeah, Hearthstone's the one where I don't. It's like I want to pretty much guarantee that it'll have something. The question is, the Hearthstone has been moving... I don't know if moving away is the right word, but they've been changing how their expansions work, where it used to be like adventure, card expansion, adventure type thing.
Yeah.
Where now they're starting to incorporate adventure into their card expansions. So the most recent one, was it just called the Frozen Throne?
Knights of the Frozen Throne.
Knights of the Frozen Throne, yep. They basically... You can play against the Lich King in what essentially would have been the adventure mode equivalent for the previous expansions.
Yep.
But with the exception being that you buy all the characters in booster packs, random packs, and they give them to you, and then you can use in-game currency to buy the other ones and whatnot. Hearthstone, in general, just like its form. But so I do wonder if they have yet to have an adventure expansion this year. They've had 2 card expansions, I think 135 cards each, or something like that.
Jesus.
So normally they do one small one, and that one's you just buy it straight out for the in-game currency or real money, and you guarantee every single card in that set, and it's built around a story narrative, and it's got special boss battles that are structured in a way that they can't realistically be done in against a real person, because it's just unbalanced.
But yeah, then we've got the big Blizzard game, World of Warcraft. Most likely, I'm going to say most likely, say 100%, there'll be an expansion announcement. No question, that is what's happening. It depends on what, because Legion ends with, well, maybe I haven't played the end of it. I certainly haven't, but I've seen what happens. Basically, one of the zones gets a big scar turned into a big damage thing to the world, done at the end by the Legion, because the Legion are basically defeated for reals this time, and not just they'll be back. I think they're actually gone. So it could mean many things. I think the one major thing they've got left is Old Gods on Azeroth being the planet, and there's also Ashara, who is the Queen of the Naga, and kind of helped blow up Azeroth by trying to summon in Sargeras, who is the big bad demon guy. Legion leader, who I don't know what happens to him. And she's probably tied to the Old Gods, which makes the only place left being the middle of the ocean and around that. In terms of, unless they go okay, we're going something completely new, which they have never, ever done. They've always used something that's been made already.
Yeah, but they did, what was the Warlords of Draenor? That was a reset, wasn't it? Oh, not reset, but a time jump or something?
It was a time jump, but they still went to a world that had been already developed.
Right, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And they'd already done Outland, which is the remains of Draenor. So they've already kind of done that. So I think the ocean is pretty much where it'll be, and underground, if they follow my kind of thinking. If not, could be anywhere.
Right, so do you think that the way the latest expansion ended, that there's a clear path they will continue on, or it's more like what you kind of said, it's there's potential spots, but there's no real this needs a conclusion still?
Yeah, there's a few stories to wrap up that we haven't seen, and Legion did reference Ashara a bit, because you're playing in the Broken Isles, which was the capital of the big Night Elven society back in the old days before she blew it up, and she's still alive. She still has forces around. She's plotting something. Something has to happen to her.
She be plotting.
She be plotting stuff, and yeah, it's just the only thing I can think of. Unless they go completely different, which, as I said, they've never done, which would be curious to see how they do that, but it will be built on
I'd love if they did, they won't though, because Hearthstone already does this, but do some comical take on something. So they really do a spin on, yeah. I think it's taken too seriously, where Hearthstone is their opportunity to do spin on Warcraft lore in a funny way.
And whereas they tried to do a spin of Warcraft lore with Draenor, which people hated, and it just added so many questions. There's multiple universes, but the Legion is in every one of them, and this character's back now, but
they did a real comic book stuff. That's exactly what comic books do.
It doesn't work in an
multiple
MMO,
universes.
It was a bad expansion. But yeah, that's about it for Warcraft, and the only other speculation is new IP.
Yeah, well, new IP, and then the big one is re-releases, because I think there's a strong possibility. That we will get a Warcraft 3 HD remaster or whatever.
I will lose my mind.
It's just, they did StarCraft. I doubt Diablo's on the cards unless they're doing misdirections where
there's no Diablo 3. But
yeah, so I that's making me think it's probably not Diablo unless they really are trying to misdirect. So I'd put my cards on there's going to be a Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 is the safest bet. It could be Warcraft 2, Warcraft 1, but I doubt it. People
love Warcraft 3, and it will sell. I will buy it immediately.
Warcraft 4 is the pie in the sky dream, where it's it wouldn't happen.
Not while World of Warcraft is a thing. They won't, unless they tie it together, which would be weird, and they won't do that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where you can imagine what Blizzard could do, but it's you think of it in a logical sense, they probably wouldn't.
They probably won't. Really I'd love a new Warcraft 4. That would be cool if they take everything Warcraft 3, kind of modernize it. I'd love Warcraft 3 just to do that, though.
Yeah. I said with how with how great StarCraft 2 was, which was the most recent RTS thing they did, like I already just like do that with Warcraft. That would be super impressive.
I think to them, their RTS is StarCraft, not.
And that's what I think too. Like originally, they even themselves, I think, believe that they were in direct competitions with each other. Where it's like, here's StarCraft, here's the more hardcore RTS, and then we've got Warcraft, which was like a spin-off franchise kind of thing that really wasn't the spin-off. It's weird kind of history, I guess, in Warcraft.
Yeah, it's like weird.
With WoW, so with WoW, it started something new, and then I think, well, this is what this franchise can be now.
Yeah, I think how Blizzard think is like they got Diablo is their action game. They've got StarCraft, which is their RTS. They've got World of Warcraft, which is their MMO. They've got Hearthstone, which is the card game. They've got Overwatch, which is the shooter. We've got Heroes of Storm, which is the MOBA. Like, they don't normally stack up to.
So then, I guess the question comes with new IP. If there was a potentially new IP, what would that be? Like, it's almost like a genre more than what it could possibly be, because there's like no inkling it would just be pie in the sky stuff.
They don't really do single player anymore, really.
Look, as I say, that's true, but I would say here's the dream: Blizzard platformer, their 2D platformer.
Oh, Shovel Knight, like Warcraft, and all that.
Well, they did do one of their first games was Lost Vikings, which was their platform.
Yeah, I've played it. It's weird. It's kind of cool though. Lost Vikings reboot.
It's an interesting game, where you're controlling like 3 characters simultaneously.
Yeah,
not simultaneously, but you're switching between.
Yeah, switching between them. Whereas in Heroes of Storm, you're all of them at once.
Yeah, which is you have to be very good to be able to handle that character.
Have to wrap your brain around that one.
I don't know. I don't feel like there's enough potential already with the games they have. They don't need a new IP.
Yeah, so I mean, they could just do a project announcement, then it'll turn into Titan, which will fail, then they'll make one of their biggest games ever after that.
Yeah, because it is one of those things where BlizzCon could easily just be this could be a safe BlizzCon where they just go, look, here's Overwatch map. Here's some talking about just Overwatch in general. Here's a Hearthstone expansion. Here's more WoW expansion. No Diablo. Some more Heroes Storm. Like, it's like by the numbers, very predictable. But you whack a Warcraft 3 HD remaster, then people get super excited about the event. You announce something new would get people like going nuts. Like imagine Overwatch. Like how crazy that was when they announced
Overwatch was like you knew from the moment they announced it, Overwatch was going to be big. The only thing they showed off was that Pixar-like trailer, and everyone was like, they're onto something with this. I don't know what it is, but I want this game. And then they released it and they like proved themselves. It's like, they can make a shooter. They make one of the best shooters.
Yeah, one that killed other shooters. For example, Battleborn, which trying to do the same thing.
Battleborn would have killed itself.
Probably, yeah. I think conceptually it wasn't as strong as Blizzard's.
Yeah.
But even other games like Cliff Blasinski's Lawbreakers, like, I don't know how well that's done, but
it has done exceptionally poorly. And I mean, like, hardly anyone on Steam is playing it. And if no one on Steam is playing it, I can guarantee far less are playing it on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true. So it's hard. Like, I really do think that Blizzard has taken out a real niche. Like, I don't know if Team Fortress does that well. I think Team Fortress still does okay.
Team Fortress 2 did really well. I mean, now Overwatch. Overwatch has taken that throne. It's just kicked him off it straight up. It's just like, I'm Blizzard. But I think Valve's still big. But then Blizzard's like, I'm bigger.
And also the legacy of Team Fortress 2. It's been out for so long that people are already still into it. It's just a thing now.
Yeah.
People just play. But new games in that genre, it's like, it's a hard one.
Yeah, it's weird that Team Fortress 2 didn't really kickstart that, whereas Overwatch really has. Like, everyone's trying to grasp that, okay, this hero shooter thing, I want in on that.
It's interesting because, like, Blizzard really, every single genre they've taken on has been incredibly successful. I think with the exception of, still a good game, but just not as successful as others, was Heroes of the Storm, where they didn't... It's funny because they kind of pioneered that. Well, they didn't, but like modders did.
Yeah, StarCraft 1 started it, and then Warcraft 3 had Dota.
Yeah,
and then it's like they started it, but didn't capitalize on what they had.
But exactly, it's like the only one I can think of where it's like Blizzard in that field isn't like the penultimate one. Where most of the other ones they're in, like Hearthstone's the biggest card game, Overwatch is the biggest team shooter, WoW's the biggest expansion. What else we got? StarCraft's like the biggest RTS. Like it's like literally like the king of all of them. So Heroes of the Storm.
But
just Heroes of the Storm was the only one. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's it for BlizzCon speculation until we actually see the damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping there'll be a couple of surprises.
Yeah, I'd really like a
3,
good surprise. Warcraft 3 would drop yay! I would be cheering.
But regardless, expect our reactions for that, or not reactions, but
our opinions, our thoughts, our discussions, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, next week. And so we before we move on, though, we have to turn off the discussion, right? So off switch.